Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Yin. Great to have you along. Um, so we're going to start tonight just going straight into a Yin pose. So we're going to start with a supported child's pose. So you'll need your bolster or a folded blanket handy for this one. And so taking your bolster up long on one end of the mat, and we take our knees comfortably wide apart and sitting back towards our heels. If you can't sit back onto your heels, you can use some padding. So in between your thighs and your calves, I've got a folded blanket here, or I could use a cushion, just as a bit of support. And from here, you may like to bring the bolster right close in, and we're going to rest onto the bolster. You can rest your head to one side, or some students like to put a block on top if that works for you, to rest your forehead on, so there's a little bit of a space for you to breathe. If it doesn't feel right to have your bolster right in towards your legs, you could take it a little bit further out so there's a bit more space for your belly, and just rest your chest, your head onto the bolster. So once you've landed, finding that juicy, comfortable position. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. We're just starting by inviting yourself to simply be here. Just right here, resting on your bolster. Noticing your breath, the movement of your body as you breathe. You could also notice sensations. So subtle pulsation, or warmth, or gentle tingling. Noticing sensations and your breath are ways to ground yourself right here in this present moment. And inviting yourself to let go of the day, of what's been or what's to come, and inviting ourselves to just be here. We can continually come back, gently guiding ourselves to being right here. And noticing if you need to make any subtle adjustments, or if you need to come out of the pose, if that's enough for your knees or for your hips. Feel free to come out. Just going to stay for about another 30 seconds. Just softening with your breath as you exhale. And now let's very slowly start to come out of supported child's pose. We're going to very slowly roll up through our spine, so you can use your arms, your mat to support yourself. Come all the way back up to sitting. And when you're ready, let's move sitting onto a square cushion to feel the rebound here. So we'll take our feet out in front. You can lean back on your hands. So feet a little bit wider than your hips and into a windshield wiper here. And dropping one knee into the center at a time. And then taking our legs out long, if that feels okay, or you can leave them bent and lean forward if that's more comfortable. That's your choice. And we'll just pause here to feel the full effect of the rebound. So let's breathe, take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Just noticing how your legs, your hips, how they feel. Let's do one more. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. And now leaving the rebound. And from here, we'll head into butterfly pose. So staying sitting on your cushion. You may need a block and some bolster handy for this one. And bringing the soles of your feet together to make a diamond shape in between your legs. If you do have a tendency to round through your lower back, make sure you give yourself plenty of height. You could add an extra cushion or extra padding underneath your buttocks. And for the full butterfly, we fold forward from there. So you can use some supports here if you like, if it's feeling too much for your hips or your knees. You can place a couple of blocks underneath your knees just to allow them to rest onto. Another option is to place a bolster or some other padding. Got it just resting on my feet here and coming forward from there. Could also use an additional block to rest your forehead on. Or as another option, you could bring your bolster closer in towards your body. So this will give you more flexion through your spine. So you could experiment and see which one feels right for you. And you can always change. So we're working at finding that edge in yin, that place where you're feeling something. So here we're working through our spine and into our hips, also through our knees, through the joints. Just noticing where you're feeling it and whether you're feeling just the right amount for you. So we don't want to feel too much too soon. We ease ourselves into the pose. You do experience any pain or any sharp stabbing sensations or too much sensation, they're all signs that you need to ease back or come out of the pose. Let's connect back in with your breath. Using your breath to soften as you exhale. This sense of softening through your back, your shoulders. And it's a gradual softening. So you feel into your body. You honor what you need. Give yourself permission to come out early if you need to. And learn so much through the practice of yoga. It's a great place to practice being kind to our body, to ourselves. Staying with your breath or with the sensations. And taking 2 more breaths here, just in your own time. And then when you're ready, slowly rolling up through your spine. Bring back up to sitting. Just pausing for a moment. Releasing your props to one side. Let's windshield wiper our legs. Once again, leaning back. So we just do a little bit of movement in between the poses before the rebound. But if you feel like going straight into the rebound, you can do that. So it's really listening to your body's needs. When you're ready, taking your legs out long, or you may like to bend your knees again and rest your arms over. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Just inviting that flow, that sense of release through the fascia, a web of connective tissue that runs right through our body. That's what we're working in each long held pose in Yin. And let's do one more deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Ah. Now leaving the rebound, and let's move on. So we're going to stay sitting on your square cushion. And we're working quite deeply through our hips, and we're gradually deepening into our hips tonight. So we'll work into a half butterfly pose. I'm going to mix in a deer pose. So we'll do each on both sides. So starting with your left leg out long, and bringing your right foot in towards your left thigh, inner thigh. And from here, for the full half butterfly, we fold forward from here. So you can have your knee slightly bent. But for some students, that might feel too much. So you may need a prop underneath your left knee. I've just placed a block under my left knee. We could also use a bolster. if your bolster feels low enough. And another option, so just like some of you may have folded onto a bolster in the butterfly pose before, you could try folding onto a bolster in the half butterfly. See how that feels. I'm just going to stay for about another minute here, and then we'll switch to deer pose on this same side. Softening with your breath. Noticing any subtle sensations. Just inviting yourself to be. Now let's slowly roll back up. So it's just a bit of a shorter one, up butterfly. Removing any props that you're using, keeping your right leg where it is. And for deer pose, we bring our left foot behind. You may need to shuffle your buttocks a little bit. You could try adding some more height if it's just really not feeling comfortable. You could also experiment with taking your feet further away from your body or closer in to see which feels right for you. And then from here, you can either stay sitting, if that feels like that's enough, or folding forward. So you could come onto a bolster, or you could simply come down onto your forearms or perhaps even down onto the floor. So your buttocks does lift off the mat just a little bit. You may start to feel it in your right glute. You're noticing what you can feel. Whether you need to shuffle your legs a little bit to find that nice juicy edge. We're working through our hips, our knees, also into our buttocks on the right side. And softening with your breath. Just noticing any thoughts that arise. That's what the mind does. You constantly have a stream of thoughts. Just observing those. Coming back to your breath. Just notice the natural rhythm of your breath. Now let's start to make our way back up. Using your arms to crawl back up. And releasing both legs. You may like to do a brief windshield wiper. Just a brief one. Then we're going to head straight over to the other side. By taking our right leg out long and bringing our left foot to our inner thigh. So for the full half butterfly, folding forward, you can have your right knee a little bit bent. Place a block under your right knee if it's feeling too much, for your hamstrings or for your hips. And you could also fold over a bolster here. Just seeing how you're feeling. Connecting back in with your breath. You may notice that this side feels different from the other side. It's very common. Just noticing without any judgment. Softening your back, your shoulder blades, your arms are relaxed. Now let's start to slowly roll back up. Moving your props, leaving your legs where they are, and bringing your right leg behind you. Just adjusting your feet, so heading into deer on the other side. And coming forward, so you may like to come onto your bolster or onto your elbows. You can stay sitting up if that's where you feel you need to be. Could rest right down to the floor. Just taking it at your own pace. Noticing how this side feels. Just adjusting your legs to find that edge. Nice, juicy place. Goldilocks position, the place that's just right for you. Settling in into the stillness of your deer pose. Now let's start to make our way back up. And releasing your legs. Doing a windshield wiper one more time. Any other movement that feels right for you. And let's just pause for a moment here. Your legs out long, bend into your knees, or just sit up straight. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. It's really feeling the base of your body, part that's connecting to your cushion and into your legs. Deer, folding in deer can release lots of energy from our base chakra, the energy center at the base of our body. And we're just pausing to allow that to move and flow down our legs. Now let's leave the rebound. And from here, we're going to head into shoelace pose. So our deepest pose for our hips tonight. And I'll give you the option for half shoelace and full shoelace. And we're going to add a side bend, and then we're going to add eagle arms. So feel free to choose what you wish to do. Okay, so starting with your left leg out long. So half shoelace first. We're bringing our right knee, making sure your buttocks is nicely grounded. Right knee roughly on top of the left here. Now, if that feels too much, you can place a block or some other padding underneath that left knee. So you can just stay here. This is the half shoelace. Or if you feel okay to go into full shoelace, we're bringing that left leg. Yes, so our knees are roughly stacked on top of each other. Can place some padding, a block, cushion underneath your knees or in between your knees as well. And from here, having a bolster. So we have the bolster on our left side, and you can add a side bend from here if you feel like it. So I'm using a bolster and a block. Use any sort of props, and leaning my left forearm or elbow onto the block, bringing my right arm over the top, keeping this right sit bone connected to the ground. So you can look forward or you can look down. You could also look up if that feels all right, depending on your neck. Noticing if you need to ease back a little bit or even come out of the side bend just to make those subtle adjustments. Also noticing your top right shoulder blade. Have this sense of that shoulder blade sliding down your back. And let's take 2 more breaths here, just in your own time. And releasing your arm back up. May like to give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. And now coming into eagle arms, if that feels okay for you. So taking your left elbow underneath your right, bringing your hands together where they can meet or at your wrists, and lifting your elbows up to shoulder height till you start to feel it in between your shoulder blades. So as far as they will go without pushing too far. And then for anyone who would like to fold forward, this will be a bit stronger, particularly if you're in the half saddle. Could start to come forward. Just go gently, cautiously. Just feel into it. Where does your body need to stay to feel that nice sense of easing into it? And now let's come back up, releasing your arms, or your shoulders, and releasing your legs. May like to do a little windshield wiper, just a brief one. Whatever else you feel is needed, we'll feel the full effect of the rebound at the end of the other side. And when you're ready, so taking your right leg out long, so for half saddle on the other side, and we're bringing our left knee across to roughly on top of our right knee, using some support under that right knee if necessary. So staying in half saddle if you're working there, or bringing your right foot around to work into full saddle. You can use any padding below or between your knees. And we'll have our bolster on our right side this time. If you're doing the side bend, with a block on top and heading on in when you're ready. Bringing your left arm over, keeping that left sit bone, left buttocks to the mat. Either look forward, or you can look up, or you can look down. Just see how it feels for your neck. Having this sense of your left shoulder blade sliding down your back, away from your ear. Taking 2 more breaths just in your own time. And then releasing out, ready. Give your shoulders a little roll. Coming into eagle arms on the other side. So your right elbow underneath your left. Bring your hands to meet, lifting your elbows up until you can feel it in between your shoulder blades. Stay here, or you can gently fold forward. Just go slowly. Noticing how this feels. Shoulders, for your neck, the back, for your hips, and for your hamstrings if you have one leg out long. Staying connected with your breath. Taking 2 more breaths in your own time. Coming back up if you were leaning forward. And releasing your arms, rolling your shoulders, releasing your legs. And we're going to head down onto our backs to do a little bit of movement and to feel the rebound. Moving props to one side. Heading down onto your back, and you can do a windshield wiper lying down. By bending into your knees once you're on your back and placing your feet flat on the floor at the width of your mat and dropping one knee into the center at a time. And then let's take our legs out long just to rest for a moment to feel the rebound. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. Feeling the weight of your body on your mat. Connected to the ground, to the earth. Doing one more deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. Now let's turn over onto our belly. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. Onto your belly and up onto your forearms. We're just going to be here for a few minutes. If you know your version of Sphinx, head on in at your own pace. Notice how this feels for your lower back. If it feels too much for your lower back, lumbar spine, you can come over a bolster. Rest like this. Or if you feel like you can go a little bit deeper, you could come on top of your bolster. Just see how your body feels today. And for anyone that would like to add in a half frog, Sphinx meets half frog, you can bend into your left knee, bringing your left knee towards your left hip. Just seeing how that feels. You may need to adjust your height, ensure that you're completely comfortable. And connecting in with your breath. And softening. You may also like to have this sense of softening, perhaps in your mind. Let's take our left leg down, bring our right knee up. If you're working in the half frog, right knee towards your right hip. Connecting in with your breath. That's that natural rhythm. Releasing your right leg back down and releasing out of Sphinx pose, going down onto your belly. Okay, I think we're back. Apologies, everyone. We had a slight technical issue. So let's go back down onto our belly and rest after Sphinx. Lying down onto your belly. Rest your head on your hands. And let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through about our mouth with an ah. Connecting, feeling that connection of the front of your body on your mat. Let's do one more deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. And from here, let's turn over onto our backs. And we're going to come into banana pose. So if you know your version of banana, head on in at your own pace. So starting by lying on your back, you can take your arms above your head. So you can hold on your hands or your wrists or your elbows, keeping your buttocks firmly planted on the mat. You shuffle your torso, neck and head follow over to the right side till you start to feel a stretch up the left side of your body. Then bring your left foot to meet your right, right to meet your left. Keeping your buttocks on the floor. You can cross at your ankles, either left over right or right over left. So you're making the shape of a banana, a curve, with your whole body. If you do experience any tingling in your hands, you can bring your hands down by your sides. Tingling is a sign you could be compressing a nerve, so it's important to bring them down if you do experience that. Now using your breath to soften into banana. Noticing where you're feeling it, up the left side of your body. Softening as you exhale. Making any subtle adjustments. Noticing whether you can go a little bit deeper or whether you need to ease back. Staying present with your breath or what you can feel. And then taking 2 more breaths here, just in your own time. And when you're ready, rolling your upper body back to the center. Releasing your legs, taking your arms out to the sides, legs out long. Just pause here for a moment. You take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. When you're ready, moving to banana pose on the other side. So to the left, taking your arms above your head, keeping your buttocks firmly grounded on your mat, and shuffling your torso over to your left. You start to feel it up the right side of your body. Bring your right leg to meet your left and left to meet your right. And cross your ankles. Either way, see which feels right for you. And settling into banana. And softening into the pose. And softening. And perhaps you might like to invite a sense of peace into your whole being. As we head into the last 10 or so minutes of class. And practice inviting peace into our whole being. A soothing energy of peace. If we need to make any adjustment, if you can go a little bit deeper into the pose, or if you've had enough and just need to come out and lie in Shavasana. We'll be here in just about another 45 seconds. Just allowing yourself to just be. Taking 2 more breaths here in your own time. And then making your way out of the pose, in your upper body back to the center, picking your legs out wide and letting out a sigh. So taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. And now moving into our final pose of Shavasana. So you may like to stay lying as you are, or you could place a bolster underneath your knees, or you could have your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor. If you have any lower back issues, that can feel quite nice to have a little bit of support. Or you can sit or lie in any other way. So I'm going to guide you in a body awareness meditation for relaxation. Starting by bringing your awareness down to your heels, noticing your heels in contact with the floor. Now noticing any parts of your calves that are in contact with the floor. Any parts of your thighs, the backs of your thighs in contact with the floor, and your buttocks in contact with the floor. Now moving up your back, noticing your lower back, perhaps the middle of your back, your upper back, shoulder blades in contact with the floor. And moving to your arms, any parts of the backs of your arms that are in contact with the floor, all the way down to the backs of your hands in contact with the floor. And now moving up to the back of your head in contact with the floor. And now having this sense of softening your whole body. Softening. You may like to use your breath to soften. Making it your exploration. When you have finished your softening, bring your awareness back to the connection points of your body to the floor. Noticing those points so you can feel those points. So you are grounded and connected to your mat. Just resting for a moment longer. And now starting to bring some movement through your hands to your feet, to your legs, to your arms. You may like to take a big stretch out with your arms above your head, point your toes, and then release your hands down and roll to one side and just pause for a moment. Use your arm as a pillow, or if you have a pillow handy. And then use the support of your arms to bring yourself back up. Coming up to a comfortable sitting position and bring your hands into prayer at your heart center. Let's bow our head towards our heart. Let's take a moment to honor ourselves, for honoring yourself, for taking the time to come in for the still and nourishing practice of Yin Yoga tonight. And now let's honour each other. So those of us who are practicing this week in the group, and let's honour our sacred earth, which we all share, gives us ground for our experience of life. And together, let's say namaste. Namaste. Hope you enjoyed the practice, even with the small cutout we had. It hasn't happened very often, but tonight was the night. We got back on board, so that's good. If you have any questions, please do feel free to contact me for a chat. Otherwise, I wish you a good week and love to see you next week. Okay, bye for now.